Hey, Brett, did you get an answer?
Yeah.
Okay, listen up. What'd you get?
So the x equals 2.5.
It says 2.5. Anybody else get that? Grant?
I didn't get that.
Yeah, what'd you get?
X equals 2.
2. We got 2.5. We got 2. We get anything else? Amanda?
Yeah, 2.
You got 2? 2?
I didn't get
Hold on, I'm not done.
You got nothing?
I got 6.
Josh has nothing? So, all right, let's take a look here. At this one. I put Austin over there. What'd you get?
Yeah, 2.
You get 2. Hey, I'm gonna keep telling you to keep combining like terms and don't move anything from one side to the other till after you combine like terms. So distribute the 5. Distribute the -4. That gives me -8x minus 4. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm gonna combine on that left-hand side. Preston, what do you think? Should combine?
Add 8. Add -11 and -4.
Left would be over here.
Oh.
Sorry.
Add 10x and -8.
What does that give me?
2x.
2x, and you just write down 2x minus 35 equals, all right, -11 minus 8x minus 4. Zachary, what's that give us?
Oh.
On that right-hand side.
-15 minus 8x.
Yeah, because you did 4 times 2 is 6.
Oh, it's 8.
-15 minus 8x?
Yeah.
All right, good. Morgan, Kendall, what should I do here? Add what? Add the 8x. It has an x with it, right? 8x. So now I get 10x. 2 plus 8 is 10 minus 35 equals -15. And now 10x minus 35 equals -15. Grant?
Add 35 to both sides.
Add 35, add 35. And 10x equals 20 divided by 10. And x equals 2. Brett, did you see where you made a mistake?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I wrote down 5 times 7 equals -40.
Oh, so you put -40. So boom, right there, everything's off. Okay, all right, so you should get an answer for 2. Like I said, we'll get those tests graded. You'll get them back Monday. The grades will be in the grade book before then. So hopefully today, maybe around lunchtime. You know, I probably won't eat so I can put your grades in, but you know, we'll see. Hey, absolute value. Joe, you remember anything about absolute value?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
What do you remember?
Positive.
Okay, positive. Good, Colin.
So numbers distance from 0?
Okay, that's like the formal math definition right there. A number's distance from 0. All right, so we're going to deal with some equations that have absolute value. Now, how do you write absolute value? Zachary.
Right, 2 bars around the number.
2 bars around the number. So, Zachary, what's the absolute value of -5?
5.
It's 5. What's the absolute value of 3?
3.
Good. So people automatically just switch it to the opposite. Absolute value is always positive. Preston, you remember that? All right, distance away from 0. Okay, so if you're looking at your notes, so we're going to throw in some equations here with absolute value. All right, so we're on those guided notes now. And if you read them, you could have cheated and told me it's the number's distance from 0, but I'm sure Colin knows that. Okay, knows it. But, so it's always positive. So distance is positive. You don't talk about, I'm going to drive -8 miles. Okay, you're going to drive 8 miles. Okay, I don't live -2 miles from you. I live 2 miles from you. Okay, so the absolute value of -5 is 5. Okay, for that. Now, if you have this, okay, just think about this here. It says the absolute value of x equals 3. Well, you're used to just taking the absolute value of a number, okay? But what if I put a variable in there? I said that is 3. Well, we get two answers because technically the absolute value of -3 is 3, and the absolute value of 3 is 3. So this is going to add a second answer when we have an absolute value equation. So there's two answers because we got the absolute value of -3 or 3 will equal 3. So as you take a look at this one here, this is the one on your sheet. Now this one doesn't require any work, you just need to be able to understand the answer. What numbers have an absolute value of 4? Okay, so what's the absolute value of 4? That is what? 4. What's the absolute value of -4? 4. So how do I answer this equation? What do I say x equals? Okay, what do I say x equals?
4 and -4.
So x equals 4 or -4. Okay, so you can do that. So you gotta say both. Now, you can also do this. There's a little symbol, and you can put plus or minus 4. Okay, I would accept either one. If you want to put 4 or -4, that's fine. Or it's called just a plus or minus. It's telling me you have two answers. All right, so either one works. Absolute value of x equals 7. Well, how many numbers have an absolute value of 7? Obviously 7, and what else? -7. So x equals -7 or 7, or you can write it as plus or minus 7. Now, obviously, they're not all going to be this easy. Sorry about that. All right, now, take a look at this one. Is that all right, written down for you? All right, here's how you do this. Once you have the absolute values by itself. So really what's going on here, let me go backwards. You get the absolute value of x equals 4. Really, you got x equals 4 or x equals -4, and you're done. X equals 4, x equals -4, you're done because you have the x by itself. If you have something inside other than an x, here's what you want to do. You're going to break it up into two cases. You're going to break it up into x plus 9 equals 13, or x plus 9 equals -13. Okay? Because we're going to get two different answers, but they're not going to be, in this case, they're not necessarily going to be the same number. Okay. So if x plus 9 equals 13, subtract 9, you get x equals 4. Subtract 9 on the other side, and I get x equals, be careful, what's -13 minus 9? Use your calculator if you need to. -22. So here's what you got to watch. You're going to get, like if it's just x, you just say 4 or -4. So this is 7 or -7. But if you got something inside there other than an x, you got to do this equation. Because when I plug in 4 plus 9 is 13. I agree with that. Absolute value of that's 13. And then if I plug in -22, I get -13, but the absolute value of that is positive 13. Now you write this, these little fancy braces, and you put -22, comma 4. It's not an ordered pair. You're just telling me you got two answers. Okay, two answers. All right, for that. So break it up if you have something other than an x. All right, so for this second one here, absolute value of x minus 7 equals 6. Break it up. Okay, so I'm going to break it up into two cases. I'm going to say absolute value, or I'm going to say x. And then when you break it up, you do not have to write, or you don't write the absolute value bars. You just say x minus 7 equals 6, and then you say x minus 7 equals -6. So you got the positive, you got the negative. Add 7. I got x equals 13. Add 7 on the other side, and what's negative 6 plus 7? Positive 1. Okay, so I got x equals 1. So my two cases are here, 1 and 13. Okay, 1 and 13. All right, so it's really doing nothing new. Just break it up into two cases based upon where the absolute value is. All right, so you get C there. So it equals 22. Break this apart. I get 2x minus 4 equals 22. 2x minus 4 equals negative 22. All right, solve those. Solve those, see what you come up with. Do a quick check.
Mr. Schler? Hi. He is. Sure. You really want to talk to him? Mr. Deland. What?
Hello.
Yeah, he was mad at it.
I know. I thought I did work with him, but I obviously I didn't.
No, he is.
Even though you went in your head, show me. Yeah. All right, so make sure you put 2, you did the plus 4, right? But put 2x equals 27. Now divide by 2. Okay, and then show that with that line. So show that little line underneath with the 2. Yep, divide. And then do that on
Yeah.
Okay. When you add, then you do 2x equals 26. Now divide by 2. Okay. Just one step off. One step off. Okay, Jay Lee, what'd you end up with?
3 and 9. No, 3 and negative 9.
3 and negative 9? Uh-oh. Hey, listen up. What'd you do first?
For which one?
This one on the left. Add 4. And so what's 22 plus 4?
Oh, that's. Wait, 26. Oh, that's just what I messed up.
What'd you put?
I just put 6.
Ah, okay, we're gonna bring that 20 down. Divide by 2. Get 13? Okay, and now for the other one, add 4 again. Add 4 again. I get 2x equals negative 22 plus 4, which is negative 18. Divide by 2, I get x equals negative 9. So I get negative 9 comma 13. Those will be my two answers.
Does it matter which one you put first, like 13, negative 9?
No, I'm not gonna be too particular, but in the situation, normally you list it from smallest to largest. Okay, Grant?
For every problem, we have to write both answers.
Well, what would you write?
Well, if I were to do it, I would do the positive one.
No, both answers work.
Okay.
Okay, because this is a case where, like in a lot of equations, only one answer works. But when I plug both of these in, they will make it true. So yes, you have to list both.
But like if we do it on a test, we have to listen both.
Yep. Yep. Now sometimes you think, well, I can't have a negative number as an answer. Well, you got to remember, you can plug in a negative. The absolute value will convert the final answer to a positive. So 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Minus 4 gives you negative 22, but the absolute value of that is 22. So you can have a negative answer. Okay? The absolute value will make it positive. All right, flip it over on the back. All right, a real big key here, real big key is it, where it says it at the top. Okay, it says it at the top is isolate the absolute value before making your two equations. So you cannot break this one apart and make it 7 and negative 7. Okay, that will give you one of the answers wrong. So you get the absolute value, which means I got to take this plus 4 and I got to move it to the other side by subtracting 4. I got to balance it out. So I subtract 4 on the left, I subtract 4 on the right. Now that gives me x minus 1 equals 7 minus 4, which is 3. At this point, now you can break it apart. Okay, now you can break it apart into the 3 and negative 3. And when you break it apart, that's when you don't write the absolute value. So I add 1. I get x equals 4. And now when I add 1 here, negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Okay, negative 2. So I got x equals negative 2 and 4. Negative 2 and 4. Make sense, Preston? All right. What's that? You didn't get that one? Oh, hold on. There you go.
See, that's not this part.
Yeah.
This part is the.
I'll go to that next one in a second. But hold on. You take a look at that next one. What's on?
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, it looks. Yeah, it's on the tail of the 2. Sorry, it's not negative 24. That. Okay. On that second one there, it's 3, and then you have the absolute value. What is happening? That 3, there's no plus or minus there, right? So it is multiplying that absolute value. Well, to move it to the other side, I cannot break it apart to 2 until I get that 3 out of there. Well, what do I do to both sides?
Subtract both sides.
Can't subtract.
I mean divide.
Good, divide. Divide. Now, if it was 3 plus the absolute value, you would subtract it. But here we're going to divide. Now, to divide by 3, just do that. Make it a fraction. Those cancel. Absolute value of x plus 2 equals 4. And then break it apart into x plus 2 equals positive 4. X plus 2 equals negative 4. And now subtract 2, I get x equals 2, subtract 2, x equals negative 6. I get negative 6 comma 2. So 2 answers. All right, now that third one. Again, before you, go ahead and give Mr. Short. Before you break it apart, got to do what? You got to get the absolute value by itself, right? Just like in the equation, you want to add or subtract first. So add 6 to both sides. So put plus 6. Now that's 2. Absolute value of x minus 3 equals 4 plus 6, which is 10. All right, now from here, Connor, what do you think we need to do? Okay, I'll wait. Slow down.
Alright, so now you're going to divide 2 on both sides.
Okay.
To,
And what's that give me?
absolute value x minus 3 equals 5.
All right, so everything's good right now. Good job. And now break it apart. X minus 3 equals 5. X plus 3 equals negative 5. Whoops. Sorry. Keep the inside, always keep the inside the same. Sometimes people will want to flip that. Don't. Keep the inside the same. Sorry. Good, and now add 3 to both. And I get x equals 5 plus 3, which is 8. Add 3 here. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. So those are my 2 answers, okay? And I can go back up and I can plug those in. What is 8 minus 3? 5. What's the absolute value of 5? 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 minus 6 is 4. Okay, Jaden? What happened?
A lot of these problems.
Yes, sir, Christian.
No, it's fine.
Just raise your hand. Gotcha. All right, those bottom 2 down there, it says not all absolute value equations have 2 solutions. So as you look at this one now, we got to follow our rules. We got to get what by itself first. Absolute value. In order to do that, what do I need to do? Subtract 8. Okay, what is 5 minus 8? Okay, now before you do anything, you just got to stop and think about this. It says the absolute value of x plus 2 equals negative 3. The absolute value of anything is always what?
Positive.
So can it ever equal negative 3?
No.
So how do we answer that? You just can't leave it. It means there's no solution. Okay, it means nothing works because this will always come out to be a positive. So if you end up with the absolute value equals a negative, okay, you just stop. Now here's the problem though, if you don't recognize this and you just get into solve mode and you do this, you'll get an answer and it says negative 5 equals x, but what happens when I plug in negative 5? Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. Absolute value of that is 3, and 3 plus 8 is now 5. You'll get answers, but they just won't work. So you're better off, once it equals a negative, just stopping. Okay, you are all done with that. All right, now fill in that right-hand side on your notes. So it equals negative 6. All right, get the absolute value by itself, Christian.
0.
Well, how did you get that? You're right, but
Added 6 to both sides.
yep, I'm going to add this 6. I'm going to add this 6. So that gives me the absolute value of x minus 4 equals 0. All right, now this is not a no solution. Now, normally we set it equal to the positive number and the negative number. Well, it makes absolutely no sense to do positive 0 and negative 0. So just set it equal to 0. X minus 4 equals 0. Add 4. X equals 4. Okay, x equals 4. All right, this was a quick one. This work, I want this done and uploaded or turned in today. So you do your absolute best to get this done today. You absolutely cannot get it done. You can finish it for Monday, but I want it uploaded or turned in by the end of the period. That way you don't have anything to take home. Okay?
Okay.